Hello everyone and welcome back to Scandinavian Design 101. I'm Sanna.
I'm Andreas and we're two Swedes and we love design.
As always.
Yes, and today we're finally gonna talk about Swedish glass. And more specifically we're gonna tell you about the Kingdom of Glass and the glassworks Kosta and its history.
Yes. The Kingdom of Glass, or the Glass Realm, is a geographical area in the southeast of Sweden, in the province Småland, where we live. Yeah. It's known for its hand-blown glass and many, many glassworks. Today the area is a well-known tourist destination and a big part of Swedish culture. Its history started already in the 18th century, more exact in 1742, when Sweden's oldest still operating glassworks, Kosta, lit their furnaces for the first time. Kosta Glassworks is named after the founders' surnames, Generals Koskull and Stahl von Holstein. Yeah. The location in the dense woods was chosen because of the unlimited supply of wood for the furnaces, but also because important roads crossed there. For example, the road to the capital Stockholm. There were also easy ways to obtain the crucial ingredient sand. Kosta's first products were utility glass, such as window panes, bottles, but also glass chandeliers, to name a few. The customers of the costly glassware were wealthy merchants, aristocrats, and even royalty. The first glassblowers came from Bohemia, back then Germany, but today a part of the Czech Republic. It took many decades before Swedes learned the skill of glassblowing. The glassworks were an important source of income for the people living nearby. Many were poor farmers wanting extra money, so they worked to keep the furnaces lit or with the transportation of raw materials or other tasks that made the production go round.
Yeah. In the end of the 19th century, the crystal glassware became a status symbol in the upper classes, and Kosta advanced to Sweden's second largest glassworks and supplied around 60 different series of glassware. The large hotels and famous restaurants in Sweden wanted glassware, and a lot were also exported to countries like Great Britain, Germany, Russia, and even India. Mm-hmm. At the same time, more people in Sweden got wealthy, so the demand for cut crystal grew steadily. So in the 1870s, the expansion of the glassworks and the surrounding community really took off. For Kosta, the most important upgrade was the build of a small railroad, which simplified the transportation of raw materials and the finished goods. The railroad led to much less breakage and fewer robberies, like robbers stealing glass. Yeah, it was expensive.
It was.
It's now that many other glassworks start their production in the area. Around 20 new factories opened. The surrounding community grew with, for example, more houses for the employees, more agricultural areas, stables and barns for the animals, a post office, and even a store.
Yeah. Despite the glassworks' success, the workers didn't really get to take part of it. There was a direct hierarchy in the factories where the baron and glassblowers were at the top and the other workers, who mostly came from poor peasant families, were at the bottom and worked tirelessly, earning very little money. Some even got sick from the fumes when making the molten glass. Several generations worked together, from grandparents to small children, even though child labor was against the law. Oh. If an inspector came to the factories, the children were told to hide.
Yeah.
They all lived very cramped and under primitive circumstances, but despite this, the sense of community was strong, and soon struggles started between the company and the newly founded workers' union. Strikes resulted in union agreements regulating minimum wage and better conditions for the workers.
Kosta exhibited products at the General Art and Industrial Exposition of Stockholm in 1897 and was criticized for being very similar to glassware produced in other parts of Europe. This inspired Kosta to hire designers, and this still today remains the way in which the glassworks develop new products. Many well-known artists have worked there since then, and now let's take a look at some of them.
During the First and Second World War, Kosta produced a huge amount of preserved jars to please the high demand. The people preserved anything they could during the difficult times. In the 50s, Kosta was the largest glasswork in the country with its 15 factories. 7 tons of molten glass were used every day. A large part of the production were glass mosaics for walls and floors. Now there was around 45 active glassworks in the area, and the competition intensified. It was also in the 50s that Kosta commissioned Bruno Mattsson to design an exhibition hall and new homes for the workers. But we will talk about this another time.
Yeah, we do. In the 60s, mass-produced utility glass flooded the country from the continent, and the expression slit och släng illustrated people's consumption patterns. It means to buy cheap, use it up and throw it out, and then do it all over again, instead of buying more expensive objects of quality that could be used for a long time. And this led to difficult times and the end for many glassworks.
Yeah. In the 70s and 80s, there was a huge upswing. Glassware was suddenly on trend. Different types of glass from smaller to larger glassworks like Kosta were popular both in and outside the borders. Around 40% of the glass were exported to America, which at the time experienced an economic boom and wanted to set their tables with Swedish glass. The 90s was characterized by art glass by artists like Bertil Vallien and Ulrica Hydman.
Yeah. In the 2000s, the glass industry went into a downward spiral. Today's Orrefors Kosta Boda AB was formed through mergers of different glassworks, and part of the production takes place in other parts of Europe and also Asia. Only 13 glassworks remain in the Kingdom of Glass, and Kosta Corporate Group stands for about 85% of the trade turnover and the main part of the employees. And we're planning on going there and film the glass blowing in action to get a more practical insight of the process. And please tell us in the comments below if you would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was our introduction to Swedish glass, and we will get back to this a lot of time later.
Of course.
Yes. And if you liked this video,
please click thumbs up.
And subscribe.
Yes, of course.
And follow us on Instagram. We are called Scandinavian Design 101.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Thanks.